These are the neighborhoods you need to know of Wilbraham and what to expect when living here. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. I hope you had a great start to your week so far. I'm Sebastian Roy, a local resident and realtor, and I love helping my viewers buy or sell their home. So if you or anyone you know has a real estate need, I would greatly appreciate you sharing my info with them because I would love to be part of that process. Alright, so today I figured we'll just take a tour of the beautiful town of Wilbraham and talk a little bit about each of the neighborhoods and the current real estate market so you can get a feel of whether or not Wilbraham is a town that you want to call home. So let's get started. Alright, so I jumped over to my computer here and we'll kick things off at the center of town of Wilbraham. So now, just a real quick rundown. Wilbraham is actually a suburb of Springfield, which you can see on the map here. Is over here right on the east side of the Connecticut River. And Wilbraham is a town of roughly about 15,000 people as of the census in 2020. And the town has an area of 22 square miles approximately. So zooming in, here is the center of Wilbraham. And this area is pretty much the heart of Wilbraham, and it has a lot of historic buildings, and it has a fairly laid-back atmosphere as well. It's home to the Wilbraham and Monson Academy, which you'll see right here on the map, basically the center screen. And the Wilbraham and Monson Academy is one of the most reputable private academies here in Western Mass. It is pretty pricey, but I mean, let's be real, what private school isn't fairly pricey, you know what I mean? So the people I've talked to say that went there say that it's well worth the money. And the center of Wilbraham is about 20 minutes to downtown Springfield. So it's great if you want to, live kind of more in a rural setting where many parts of Wilbraham do have, a country feel. But you also want to be pretty close to the downtown, restaurant, shops, the fun entertainment that Springfield has. So in the center of Wilbraham, there are some little shops to be had and restaurants you can go eat at and shop around at. And it's a pretty walkable area in the warmer weather, not so much here in the colder weather. Come spring and summertime, you'll see plenty of people walking around outside. And in addition to Springfield, the center of Wilbraham is within half an hour to East Long Meadow, and that also has many good shops and restaurants too. So now the majority of homes in the center of Wilbraham are 3 beds and 2 baths or 4 beds, 2 baths, and they're approximately 2,300 square feet on average, with an average sales price of $526,000. The average days on market is currently 35 days. It's one of the more competitive areas in the town, and the sales price to list price ratio is 100.5%, meaning that sellers are getting over the asking price by 0.5%. So you definitely want to come in with a strong offer if you're going to be offering on a house in the center of Wilbraham. All right, now let's talk about North Wilbraham, which I like to think of as basically the north side of Route 20 here. That's a pretty, nice, easy straight line you can kind of gauge the north side of Wilbraham at, but it also includes this section on the northeast side, which actually abuts the Red Bridge State Park, and that's the beginning of the Chicopee River Reservoir. So there's good boating in the summertime. I spend a lot of time on the kayak out there, doing some fishing, swimming. And then there's also some trails that run along the body of the water, so you can do some hiking there as well. So North Wilbraham is a bit more built up than the center of Wilbraham, and it has less of a country feel, but it's right near Route 20. So here's where you're going to find Spectacle Pond, which is right here in the center of the screen. And this is a popular spot for boating and fishing in the summertime as well. The nice part about North Wilbraham, and actually the whole town of Wilbraham, it's within half an hour of Springfield. So it's manageable for a weeknight out if you want to go, dine out at one of the restaurants or just do some entertainment. And there's also plenty of restaurants along the Route 20 here. You got the Taproom Bar and Grill, the Route 20 Bar and Grill, which I've been to both of those several times. Crazy Jake's is more of like it's not a fast food restaurant, but it's a quicker stop than, a sit and dine in restaurant. So that being said, right along Route 20, you have several restaurants within a 10-minute drive. And similar to the center of Wilbraham, many of the homes are 3 to 4 bedrooms and 2 baths. They're a bit smaller at an average square footage of 2,100 square feet, and the average sales price is $446,000, which is actually about a 15% discount compared to the center of town. So prices here are going to be cheaper. They're actually, the most the most reasonable prices, cheaper homes in the town of Wilbraham. So for your first-time home buyers, maybe people downsizing that don't need a huge home and they just want an affordable monthly payment, this is going to be the best bet for a neighborhood where you find homes that are reasonably priced. However, because they are cheaper, there's going to be more competition, meaning that home prices are going to go over asking more than likely. The average days on market is currently 45 days, and the list to sales price ratio is 101%. Nothing crazy, but still very competitive market. So again, you want to come in with a strong offer. All right, so let's move on to the western side of Wilbraham, which borders the 16 acres neighborhood of Springfield, which is basically going to be anything west of, you see the Country Club of Wilbraham here. If you just draw a straight line down, Wilbraham Wildlife Area, that's all included in Western Wilbraham. One of the great things about living in Western Wilbraham, in my opinion, is it's right on Springfield Street, so you have close commuting to Springfield, for work or entertainment, things like that, if you want to get in and out quickly. And traffic's usually not too bad. In this part of town, you have the Country Club of Wilbraham for all you golfers, and then there's plenty of hiking trails in the area as well. You have the Wilbraham Wildlife Area in the southwestern section of Wilbraham, so there's some nice hiking trails out there, walking trails, if you want to walk your dog. And this area is about half an hour to Six Flags New England and Agawam. So for any of you that like amusement rides and you want to go check out Six Flags, definitely wait till the summertime. They're not open right now, but it's within half an hour drive, so that's always good. Much like the northern section of Wilbraham, this is a great area for first-time home buyers looking for a starter home because the prices are more reasonable than some other sections of Wilbraham, although they are a little bit more pricey than North Wilbraham. The homes consist of mainly 3 beds, 2 bathrooms, or 4 beds, 2 bath homes, and they're about 2,300 square feet on average. Currently, there's an average days on market of 40 days. So homes are sitting about a week longer than that of North Wilbraham, and the sale to list price ratio is the same at 101%. All right, so now let's head across town to the eastern part of Wilbraham, which is an area here where you'll have a mix of residential and commercial areas. This neighborhood is super convenient with easy access to shopping centers and restaurants. As you can see, many of the roads are spread out. It's not super built up. So it's bordering Monson, so there's a lot more space, not as many built up areas like I mentioned. A lot more cul-de-sacs. So if you're looking for a lot of woods, forests, just more room for yourself, a bigger yard, this is definitely the place to be. Or the southern end of Wilbraham, which we'll explore next. There is this community here on Red Gap Road where it's kind of built up, but not nearly as much as northern Wilbraham. There is the Crane Hill Disc Golf Course here, which seems really fun. I haven't been to yet, but that's disc golf I've done plenty of times before, not at this location, but I should definitely get out there and try it out. It is a fun time, so that's something to do in the summertime when it's warmer weather. You also have plenty of hiking trails out here because there is a lot of forest. And there's very few home sales currently. The last 6 months, there was 3, and they're higher priced homes. The lowest home that sold in the last 6 months was right around $350,000, and the highest home was over $800,000, making the average sales price $629,000. Now, those homes were actually larger homes as well. So 2,900 square feet was the average square footage of the homes. It sounds a little bit skewed from those numbers, but like I said, there was only 3 homes that sold in the last 6 months, so you got to take that into consideration. The average days on market was 145 days, and the list price to sales price ratio is 101%. The eastern part of Wilbraham, especially primarily the southeastern part bordering Monson and Hamden, is going to be one of the most expensive areas. And for good reason, right? There's a lot more open space and the homes tend to be bigger. So this is a great place to live if you want some serenity, but it's going to be, you're going to pay the price for it. So here's a few homes here. As you can see, 2 in-the-ground pools. They seem to be much bigger homes. Wow, look at that house. That's a big house. So more spread out, bigger homes. And last but not least, let's check out South Wilbraham, which is a family-friendly neighborhood with top-rated schools and plenty of green space. This is where you'll find the Minnetonka Regional High School, the Wildlife Wilbraham area, and it's also home to Fountain Park, which is a popular spot for outdoor recreation. And the good news is it's only about 25 minutes from downtown Springfield and 10 minutes to Great Horse Brewery in Hamden. Much like Eastern Wilbraham, there's a lot of hiking and walking trails. Right here, there's the Rice Preserve Sunrise Peak Trailway. And then you have the Sunrise Peak Conservation Area. You have Rice's Fruit Farm, where they do a lot of apple picking you can go do. They do cider donuts. It's just a fun place to bring your little kids or your family and just have a nice fun day out, especially in the fall time. And again, much like Eastern Wilbraham, there's more space, not as many houses. It's not as built up. They're not quite as expensive. The average sales price is $476,000. The average square footage is about 2,500 square feet. So still pretty good sized houses, more than average, but a lot of 4 bedrooms, 3 bedroom homes. The average days on market is 46 days. The sales price to list price ratio is 100.5%. So by looking at the map, the southeastern part of Wilbraham is much less built up. You have some houses over here by the mountaintop Christmas light display. Just a few roads, but right here by the Sunrise Peak Conservation Area, you have lots of forest, not many houses, the Rice Nature Preserve, but you get over to the southwestern part of the town and you have all these houses. I recently sold a house this summer on Millbrook Drive here, had about a third of an acre of land. You can see it's a nice cul-de-sac road. It's not super built up. They had some space. There were neighbors, right, as you can see, but it was a great area for the dog. They had dogs. They had this pond they can go back to here, the Bennett Pond. Some walking trails. And that particular cul-de-sac had a lot of close-knit families with little kids, so it was a great area if they had little kids. All right, so that wraps up our tour of Wilbraham. As you saw, Wilbraham's a really nice town. It's definitely more expensive than many of the surrounding towns, but it has a lot of great things going for it. And this town has something for pretty much anyone. Again, if you're thinking of making Wilbraham your home, don't hesitate to reach out to me, whether it's just for some more info or you're ready to start seeing some homes. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for future neighborhood tours. See you later.